everyone, and welcome back to the Fairway to Retail Success, an AGM podcast. I'm your host, Justine Gray, the AGM's Director of Membership and Education. Today, we have a special guest joining us, Bart Romano, PGA, Director of Golf at Caledonia Golf and Fish Club and True Blue Golf Club in Pawleys Island, South Carolina. Bart is an industry veteran with a wealth of experience and has been a PGA member since 2007. With a career that spans over 2 decades, he has played a pivotal role in transforming Caledonia's pro shop into a high-performing retail hub, and he's seen remarkable success in elevating sales and customer engagement through innovative strategies. Bart was also named Carolina's Section Merchandiser of the Year for Resort in 2014, and he continues to drive excellence in his role today. Bart, thank you for joining us. We're excited to hear about your journey and some of the best practices you've implemented at your facilities.
Absolutely, Justine. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It is an honor. I got to be at the first one at the retail conference.
Hear it. So if I'm understanding correctly, you have 2 facilities. Just to help our listeners understand a little better, are they located on the same property or are they different locations from one another to understand your shops?
And so True Blue and Caledonia are located in Pawleys Island, South Carolina, just south of the Myrtle Beach, or the greater Myrtle Beach area, and just north of Charleston and Mount Pleasant area.
Okay.
We have 2 separate clubhouses. They're not on the same property, but they're literally across the street from each other. So it was maybe a 4-minute drive from door to door. So it's not far, but they're on separate properties right now.
Gotcha. Great. Good to know and understand. So we love to start with asking our guests to take us through your career journey in golf a little bit, how you got started, and what led you to your current role.
100 years ago, it's weird to use the word veteran, and I feel like I'm not old, but I am unfortunately old at this point in my career. I was a baseball player growing up. I actually never played golf. I played one time, 9 holes, when I was 12 years old. I played baseball at Shepherd University, was college back then. When my baseball time was over, I was still in school and had a lot of free time. And so that was hard for me to handle. So I started playing golf. And the following year, I got on the golf team. I was a super senior. I felt I needed 5 years to complete my education. But I got to play on the golf team, and really the rest is kind of history. I got the internship at Hershey's Mill Golf Club up in Westchester, Pennsylvania, I'm from Delaware, just south of Philadelphia. So that's where I started. A year and a half, one winter time in Pennsylvania was about all I could stand. 3 guys staring at each other for 4 months was not fun. I ventured to move south in 1999 and opened River's Edge Golf Club, an Arnold Palmer design, just across the border in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was there for 6 years. I was the head professional for the last year and a half, and then got a position as the first assistant at True Blue Golf Club. And the head professional at that time is Bob Sagani. He is now our general manager, and we've had a great working relationship over the last, it's hard to believe, 19 years. But I've been at True Blue, affiliated with True Blue since 2006. I've had a few different roles. I was first assistant, moved to the head professional position, and then moved to director of golf in 2021. And that was over True Blue and Caledonia Golf and Fish Club. Now, as of today, we also are operating the Steve Dresser Golf Academy, which is located on True Blue's property. So eventually the retail world will work its way into the golf school as well. But that's pretty much it. I started buying back in 2014. I started with the AGM in 2020, and that is really, that has made a huge difference in my career. And hopefully you hear this from other AGM members and other PGA members. The people in the AGM, including yourself and everyone involved, and the members have such a wealth of knowledge. And for me, or other PGA professionals, we have a million different hats. So I'm trying to do 15 different things in the course of an hour, whether it's putting out some close, slow play, checking in groups, booking tea times, booking local groups, group sales. So I never concentrated or focused as much as I probably should have on the retail end. And that was really eye opening to me when we first came on board with the AGM. But it has been awesome, a true wealth of knowledge. And like, I feel like, we're headed in the right direction. And our head professionals at East Golf Course, Mark Gerton at Caledonia and Altulia Renwick at True Blue, have seen just the things that we've done to transform the shops. And it's not big things, but the details matter. That was pretty long winded. So yeah.
No, that was wonderful. Thanks for sharing all that. And you're right. Sometimes it is just a little change, something that's very low cost, low investment that can really drive the needle, and those things add up to make a difference. So as we know, e-commerce is becoming more and more important for folks in the golf space. And I know that's part of your retail operation a bit. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with it? And especially as I know you're transitioning or working with now My Shop, how do you see the e-commerce continue to evolve in your environment?
The big thing for us, when I first started here, we had an online shop, but it was inventoried from the golf shops. And if anyone has ever said that's been an awesome idea, I'd love to meet that person, because that's the fakest news of all time. You just can never keep up with it. We constantly had to update it. And quite frankly, we just didn't have the time to stay on top of it. So we stopped and then went with a third party in 2019 and stayed with them for a few years. And it was at least a way to offer True Blue and Caledonia logoed merchandise via our website, via third party. We outgrew that, looked for a few different options with Team Shopify, and then we settled on My Shop about 10 months ago. We officially went live, and it's been an excellent transition. They've done a great job. It mirrors the website, so it doesn't look like you're going to a completely different page or a completely different company, because we used to get calls like, hey, I clicked on the shop here, and now we're on some rando website. It's just not a great look. Even though it wasn't a scam, it looked like a scam, if that makes any sense. So we went to My Shop, and like I said, the page is flawless. It blends in with the website. They take the order, they fulfill the orders with the vendors. They can offer a bunch of vendors, even ones that we do not carry, on site. So that's nice. And they give you, there's a bunch of options. So it's continually growing. It went from next to nothing, basically, to a 200% increase. And that was only in the last 6 months of last year. So we expect a 300 to 400% increase heading through a full 12 months of 2025. But it's been really excellent so far. Really easy. User-friendly, easy to work with, and they do an excellent job for us. So we appreciate it. And it's taken us to another level with the online presence for sure.
That's terrific. And you mentioned back in 2019, I remember there were way less options at that time for online. I remember I used Shopify in 2018, 2019, and all these other things didn't exist quite yet. So I'm sure we'll just continue to see the options, that there will be something for what every different type of shop might need to make online make sense for them.
I mean, absolutely. And like I said, if we had to house the inventory, we wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just we're constantly flowing through inventory at both shops. It'd be impossible to keep in stock. It would be a full-time job just updating the website. And,
for sure.
Frankly, we don't have that kind of time, which is the beauty of My Shop. Mm-hmm. We'll get an update that it's ordered. We'll get an update that it's shipped. That's it.
That's great.
Like I said, it's been really good. And we look to grow from there, and our offerings will grow over time as well. So
awesome. So you wrote about in your Platinum Award application some really creative promotions, which we always love to see. Can you tell us a little bit about the concept of your Merch Madness promotion that you ran and how that went at your shop?
Absolutely. We're actually getting ready to embark on Merch Madness 5.
Oh, wow.
In the next couple of weeks. This started, like I said, this is the 5th year we've done it. And back to the AGM, we had never done a promotion in my time at the facilities. This was uncharted territory for us. But we wanted to do something fun. So this was really the kickoff to all that. And it is the most fun one that we do all year. There's just not a better event. The members actually really look forward to it. It's a member-only event. It is True Blue specific. It is only at True Blue, this event. So it coincides with March Madness, which is we'll probably get ready to be in the middle of. And basically we'll take cards, 2x4s with the college logos of the top 20 teams in the country and have 100 tickets. So we'll split those up, so many for the teams that are 1 through 5, 5 through 10, and so on and so forth. It'll get to a total of 100. So once we have selection Sunday, which is coming up, members can start coming in up until the tip-off, or we run out of tickets. So it's limited to 100, the first 100 members, and everyone comes in and chooses a team. So that is their team to follow throughout the course of the tournament. So if their team loses in the first round, they're out. And then it's basically, after the teams are selected, the tournament starts on Thursday at noon. Everyone has their team set. We have a running spreadsheet with everyone's team on it. As they advance, or as their team advances through the tournament, from the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four, and then the national champion, they'll receive a greater discount. So for everyone that does it, they're going to get a 5% discount on top of their member 20% discount in the retail shop at True Blue. If you make the Sweet 16, they get an additional 10%. Elite 8, 20, and then if you got the national champion, they'll have 50% off with their member discount. We have a redemption period, which is the week of the national championship, from Monday through Sunday of that week. And they'll come in and redeem their tickets and basically go on a little bit of a shopping spree, depending on how far their team went in the tournament. So it's a fun way to keep members involved with us and a fun way for them to watch the tournament. Because if they didn't have a rooting interest, now they do. And it's always been my favorite time of year. I played baseball, so it's spring training, March Madness are all about the same time, getting ready for baseball season. It's just a really fun time. I just had a lot of fun filling out brackets as a kid. And this was before you got those online. They could print them. We'll put it that way. I used to have to make copies of newspapers, but it's always been a fun time, and I think the members enjoy it. And it helps for them to enjoy the tournament that they may not have otherwise watched.
Absolutely. I really like how it's not just a one-day promotion. It's something that they're going to be following week to week and thinking about the golf shop as a part of that. So that's really fun that it's a longer event.
Once we start getting through the Sweet 16, people start coming in and eyeballing and seeing, like, oh, if my team wins this week, we'll be in the Final Four or get another 10%. It really is a lot of fun, and the staff enjoys it. So it's a fun time.
That's terrific. Sounds like a lot of fun. I know you talked about how you've transformed the shop to be more inviting, more of a storytelling shopping experience. What sort of changes did you and your team make to your merchandising to make that transformation, such as your interactive displays? I know you wrote about your free drink tickets, so I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. Again, we're fairly high volume, especially once we get into the March. Our peak season is March through May, and then again in the fall with September, October, early November. After COVID, that's changed. Our season is now from March until Thanksgiving. So we stay pretty steadily busy through the entire course of the year, and then the weather dependent on in the wintertime. But we never really had displays. We would fold some shirts, badly, mind you. We would fold some shirts, but the merchandise kept getting picked through. So we always seemed like it was never top of mind as far as keeping these displays going, or keeping them neat was always difficult. A few years ago, we started introducing at least some seasonal stuff, like St. Patrick's Day. We have a display going right now. We're going to head into the Masters here shortly. We're at the beach. We're about a quarter of a mile as the crow flies to the ocean. So in the summertime, we have the beach theme at the places at Caledonia and True Blue. These are fun ways to get the displays noticed and really just to make the shop different. Because for a long time, you walked in, the shop was basically looked the same. The pictures looked in the same spot. The color palettes, you really couldn't tell if they changed because there was nothing to draw attention to any one particular four-way, slat wall, whatever it may be. But we have since changed that, and using the props and using the displays and visual displays, it really changed the mindset. People would come in and usually just walk straight to the counter. Now they're looking around, or especially as soon as they walk in. True Blue is a pretty large footprint. Well, Caledonia is very small, like a closet. So it's easy to just blinders straight to the counter and try to get out. But we've tried to change that narrative over the last few years and adding those displays and interactive displays with different things, but with the free drink tickets, just leaving them around throughout the display here or there for guests or members to find. And they'll ask you, like, is this supposed to be here? And I'm like, that's yours. And that's yours. And then you go over to the restaurant for a free drink of their choice. So yeah, it's something different, but it's something fun and keeps it interactive and keeps people with their eyes open instead of just keeping blinders on, checking in, checking out the door.
Absolutely. And speaking of your displays, I know you all have had some success with selling your props from your displays, and especially around the Masters. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came about and how it's done?
Absolutely. Tracy Moffat actually used to say that you can sell your displays. I used to laugh. I'm like, who's coming in here and buying a freaking inner tube? No one's doing that. This is not a thing. I was wrong, obviously. We will sell any of our props or anything out of the displays. There's a couple of things that we couldn't sell. We actually have an Augusta National jacket. That's not for sale. It's one of our members. He was kind enough to let us use it in our display, and people couldn't believe and asked if it was real. But we're lucky enough because we're only 3 hours from Augusta National. We get to go to the Masters pretty much every year. And typically I'll just go and I'll buy $400 or $500 worth of everything. Hats, flags, keychains, you name it. And we, throughout the course of the year, when our team members have a great moment, a great customer service moment, go above and beyond, we'll give them one of those Masters hats or flags, whatever it may be. So last year decided to build that into a display because we had so much stuff. I've got a bunch of tickets, so we made shadow boxes and with the gold tickets in it and the tournament books. I had a bunch of flags in the display from various years. And so I thought, I was like, you know what? People might actually want to buy this stuff. So we put price stickers on it. Nothing in anything of it. We went to the event last year on a Thursday, bought a bunch more, put them in the displays. When I came in Sunday, pretty much everything is gone. And because, again, we're very fortunate as PGA members to be able to go. Not everyone has that chance. A lot of times people are planning their golf trips to Myrtle Beach based on it being Masters Week, but they've never been, or maybe they've been one time and just had a great time. And we sold a dozen pin flags, a couple of different other display items that we had. It made a few $100 through the course of it, and not from selling the shirts on the display. So it was weird, but if nothing else, it's like that funds the next display and the next display, and we can make each year's display a little bit better by selling the previous year. So yeah, that was a surprise. So I'm going to have to really reload this year when I go to Augusta.
Very cool. So something else I know you wrote about was seeing an increase in more of your higher end rounds and fewer member and local bookings. So how have you and your team shifted your focus to really those who are those guests from out of town who are visiting for the weekend or for a vacation, to cater towards more of those guests than the local folks?
Typically, we have about 350 members currently. Typically, True Blue will get more member play than Caledonia. Most of that's due to availability. Caledonia stays much busier with out-of-town guests, direct bookings, packages, etc. Um, Caledonia is not the most popular golf course in Myrtle Beach. It's the second most popular, and for good reason. It's an excellent facility, and I always liken it to playing golf in a garden. There's some things you can't make, and 400-year-old oak trees lining the driveway is one of them. Unless somebody has a few decades, millennia, so you haven't made that happen. But so we shifted a little bit where some of these higher end rounds at Caledonia versus some more local play and some more member play at True Blue with a shift as far as the price points that we're hitting in each shop. True Blue, you'll see a bigger gap top to bottom. Caledonia is a little more mid to high. They introduced Johnny O, looking at brands like that, Straight Down, Travis Matthew, Vineyard Vines. And those are the typical brands that visitors from out of town and out of state, and even out of the area, are looking for. And added a few more gift ideas. So maybe the guys are going on the golf trip. Their girlfriends or wives are at home. Maybe they're going to bring them home a beach blanket. Maybe they're going to bring them home a poster or a picture of the golf course where they're playing, and so they can share that with them. So we've shifted our buying habits and what we're offering at both places, but specifically Caledonia have a little more an uptick in the upscale manufacturers and vendors.
Yeah, that's always super interesting when places can be so close to one another as far as their physical locations and how the shops can really cater to different audiences and different brands and vendors and all that.
Absolutely. And so and a lot of times, they're playing both a lot of cases, but being able to offer that kind of a variety between the two golf courses has been very helpful for both places. And I believe our guests actually enjoy that. Yeah, I just want to get a solid white shirt. You can do that, and it's Foster and Armored away. It won't be a Peter Millar or something crazy. Or you want that high end, you want Joy or Johnny O or Vineyard Vines. Caledonia's got that. It's always evolving, but over the last 2 years, that's the trend we've seen.
Very nice. Can you tell us a little bit about your approach to motivating your team and how you utilize commission-based incentives and some of your product challenges you do with your teammates?
Oh, absolutely. We have 5 full-time assistants at both facilities and a head professional at each of them. We'll always want to keep people motivated. And sometimes, especially when you get in the middle of spring around here, and we're going, what do I do? It's hard to get motivated. But typically, money's going to motivate just about everyone, especially in the golf business. None of us are retiring anytime soon. Offer a commission base on top of your base salary. We don't give a lot of lessons in this area outside of the golf school. So to combat that, we offer a net percentage of basically on merchandise and retail sales as a bonus. We also will gamify, if you will, like monthly sales. Maybe we'll pick shoes, for example. So this month, whoever sells the most shoes gets a $100 gift card to a local restaurant down the street. I would never say bar, but there may be some of those too. But yeah, those are things that we use to gamify it. And you'll see who sells the most shoes or who sells the most FootJoy product, whatever it may be for that particular month. We don't do it 12 months a year, but we'll break it out here and there through the course of the year just to keep it fresh. But there makes a difference as far as getting guys and girls out on the other side of the counter if we know it's their presence and their help with the guests is going to directly affect their paycheck and their coworkers' paycheck. It's been a big deal. It's great for the staff. It's great for the team members. And the bottom line, it's great for the company.
Certainly. Yeah. I love the idea of a gift card to a local business to just a way to say thank you. So that's great. So, what advice would you give to other AGM merchandisers or PGA members who are really looking to elevate their operation and really stand out in 2025? It's not too long before folks will be thinking about the Platinum Awards for 2026. Crazy enough. So, what advice would you have for folks who are really looking to elevate themselves?
The biggest thing I've seen, and I think the most helpful thing, and the way the business is going, is really pay attention to social media. The AGM does an incredible job of highlighting all of our members, and they send in, and it will tag you in different posts. The displays are amazing, and it makes me feel super inadequate, but at least it gives you some inspiration to try, because some of the displays are just incredible, and the full jobs, I'm like, if I had to do that myself, it would take me 3 hours. And then the first person that came in and picked up a shirt, I might drop kick them out the front door. So I get it. And it's super amazing. They do a great job, and seeing it visually through social media in real time is incredible. It's fun to watch, and there's some really good follows on social media. And that's taken to the next step. Eventually there's going to be shopping directly on social media. And that seems to be the next stage and the next step with social media. So we started an Instagram page for the pro shops. It's been about a year ago. And that has been a super fun way to see what's what. And you get direct feedback from the people that are going to be your guests, or who are your guests currently. And that is unbelievable feedback to have. And it's real time. It's not like I'm taking a month-long survey and I got to have time to sit down and figure out what's what. If you throw out 4 brands out there and say, hey, we're going to bring in a new brand, we've actually done this, and we ended up, all of our staff members and team members got together, picked 4 brands we're looking to bring in, threw it out to our guests on social media. We ended up picking Grayson at True Blue, and they picked it. So it was, and obviously, then you're not second guessing. It shows up, oh, I hope this $120 shirt's going to sell. And then it does. You already know, you have a pretty good idea once you get that feedback directly from your future, former, and present guests that it's probably going to work out. And it has. So that's one way we're looking to move forward, but I can't say it enough. That is probably the biggest thing you can do, is have a presence on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. You gotta have it. And if you don't, you're being left behind. We're pretty fortunate where we are and the facilities that we're at. They photograph really well. They're very unique designs. Our clubhouses are pretty unique as well. That's awesome. We have an amazing relationship with Barstool Sports and the Foreplay Pod, who's just here recently, and the kind of action you get, I feel like we do a good job. From one day in the Barstool Classic, you're looking at 5 million impressions in the course of 12 hours. And it was for one of their guys basically just being out on one of the tees, shaking the participants' hands. And that's what kind of feed they get. It's mind-blowing to me, but being in that world, you see it, and it's been a lot of fun developing their sites. And said golf courses are on there, the Golf Academy, and now the pro shops. So it's been fun to highlight the stuff that we want to highlight, and do vendor alerts, sale alerts, 12 days of Christmas. We don't put Merch Madness out there because that's a member specific event, but if those kind of things you put out there, you'll be surprised how quickly you'll build your following and how quickly you'll receive the feedback, and you'll know what's working, what's not, really quick. And I think that's been the best part about it.
Amazing. Yes, I love the idea of that instantaneous feedback that you're getting from it, that folks you're able to tell right away without them even having to come into the shop and purchase anything. You can understand their likes and dislikes, what they're reacting to right from their phones.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's 100%. If we haven't learned anything, the online world, if it sucks, they're going to tell you.
Yes.
About quick.
Mm-hmm.
Might get your feelings hurt, but that's all right. It's part of the deal. That's why we get paid the big bucks, right?
Amazing. Thank you so much, Bart, for sharing all this so our AGM members can learn a little bit more about all you're doing at True Blue in Caledonia and South Carolina. So thanks so much for joining us. This was great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. Please take care of yourself. I hope to see you again soon.
Yes, likewise. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in for another episode of the Fairway to Retail Success. We so appreciate you taking some time out of your day to listen. And take care, everyone. We hope to see you soon.